is Alex and it's Travel TitBits, and we're on the move again, and it's episode 26, and I'm at Barnstaple railway station. Tell you a few stories about this area, so let's take a closer look at it. So right now we're looking at what appears to be a very standard set of industrial units and cars and a few buses. But here, looking at the edge of the railway station, today there is no evidence whatsoever that this entire area, and we can't even see the river at all from here, this entire area was used for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was for the maintenance of steam engines. Yes, only steam engines were stored here and maintained. Tens of engines would have been used and maintained. If you've been here at this time of day, the whole area would have been filled with the sights and sounds of steam. In fact, there might even have been a cloud of steam. The toing and throwing of engine drivers and their mates, cleaning out and making all the noise and the dust and the dirt that came with it. So why was there such a large place dedicated just to one thing? Well, this was a very important railway junction. Trains came not only from Exeter, they came from Torrington. We used to swing to the left over the Tor River. There was another station called Barnstaple, Victoria. And in the other direction, as the bus swings round, in the other direction it went to Bedford and Torrington. And that line linked up to a lot of Cornwall lines, so you could have got to Bude, to Wadebridge, to Padstow, and to places like Oakhampton. Swinging to the right from here, you could cross the Tor, across another bridge, and that would have taken you to Grafton, Braunton, Woolacombe and Ilfracombe. So this was an extraordinary busy area. The Victorians certainly knew what to do with technology, and unlike today, you could sense and you felt power and energy in your hands when you dealt with steam engines. Today, energy is put into small boxes and you turn them on and you hardly notice any power in your hands at all. Even the device I'm taking this movie with today, I just am amazed at the technology contained in a small brick. So here we're coming up to the Southern Railway station. It's always having things done to it. There is staff working this side. We still use the original entrance, which is getting some, maybe the roof has been repaired. And at the rear is a cafeteria. Where the car park is, this would have been all rails. The Great Junction. This was right over here on the opposite side of the car park was a Victorian two-humped bridge which joined up with the road just where those Victorian terrace houses are at the back. And it would have gently swept across the scene here and taken the old stickle path road up the hill, which has now been replaced by a new link road, which dominates the scene today. Roughly where I'm standing now would have been the signal box, split between the two sides of the original bridge. To the right, where the pedestrian swings gently to the right, was the steep right-hand curve going towards the Tor Bridge and on to Barnstaple and Ilfracombe. When the new road scheme was put in, space was very kindly left so that for a future rail project going towards Bedford can actually fit under this bridge, and there may even be a short tunnel. So thank goodness for foresight. Looking back at the site below, it's difficult to imagine that if we'd been stood here 60, 70 years ago, we could have easily been run over by a train. It would have been extraordinary scenes at the busy times. The only time I think that, well, I've never seen a time here where I've seen it actually being used by lots of services. However, the thing that's probably saved this area was two things. So during the times of cuts, a lot of stations just simply disappeared, whereas this has a very high mountain embankment. People may just look at it and think it's a boring piece of rock, but it's a case of where the landscape has saved the station to a certain extent. And the other reason was that the railway to Bedford stayed open a lot longer, and by the time that closed, that basically changed the ball game. And although for many years the second and third platforms were overgrown, now we have a very enthusiastic councillor who basically has formed another group of volunteers who now look after this part of the station. As you can see, there are two men there today. It is hoped that one day extra trains will be able to come into Barnstaple, and that will make a tremendous difference to the whole landscape and the possibilities that come with it. So, just to wrap up, that's a whistle-stop tour of Barnstaple Junction railway station. So next time we'll be moving on somewhere else, perhaps in Barnstaple, perhaps somewhere else. Okay, see you next time.